Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite perfumes that I think that you guys are going to love. So if you are looking for your new perfume obsession, I'm going to show you some perfumes that I'm currently so obsessed with. I really hope you guys will find something that you love here, and if not, I'm just excited to take you along the ride and show you some of my current favorite perfumes. If you don't know me, my name is Emma. I studied perfumery in France. I also worked as a sales associate at a fragrance counter for about 4 years. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into the video. First of all, I'm going to share with you one of my new favorite fragrances that I just discovered recently. I just know this is going to be a hit. Like, I know people will love this one. Now, this first fragrance is one that if I were to just look at the notes, I don't think I would have been too interested in it. In fact, I'd heard a few people talk about this perfume on TikTok, and I was kind of like, okay, like, you know, it sounds like a perfume that exists. I don't feel any particular way hearing about it. I'm not, you know, jumping off my seat based on the description of the perfume, but I was able to get my hands on it recently. The House of Brandt gifted me a few of their fragrances. They gifted me maybe 4 fragrances. I was expecting to like their new Guava Sorbet one, but this fragrance really surprised me. This is a fragrance called Genesis by the House of Brandt. If I were to compare this fragrance to anything that you would smell before, it is Oud Satin Mood. I personally find these fragrances very similar, and before I ever looked up the notes of Genesis, I actually thought that it was an oud fragrance because I did get similarities here. So I'm just gonna smell them side by side. Genesis is so good. When I smell this here, I think of Oud Satin Mood, but when I smell them side by side, they're actually very different. Oud Satin Mood has more of like a sour kind of sharpness. I guess that's kind of the skankiness of the oud, whereas I guess Genesis is more woody. Oud is when Akagala wood has a specific infection, so it's a specific wood with a specific infection. That is what oud is, and it creates this like syrupy sap that can be sometimes a little skanky, sour, animalic, woody, deep, rich. This fragrance is not oud to my knowledge, but I definitely get the saffron and the rose, which I think is kind of a roundabout way that takes me there, and it's actually a woody base. So I get the Javanol and the different types of wood here that make me think of oud, but when I compare these two, I realize it doesn't have that skankiness, and like not all oud is skanky, but it's not an oud scent. This one is cashmere wood, tobacco, sandalwood. It's beautiful. It's just kind of like sweet and warm and very head turning. I think that's kind of the saffron effect, where it's a little sweet. It dances, like it's very airy. I feel like it kind of lives in the atmosphere and really catches your eye. I feel like saffron fragrances always go very popular because they really get you that attention because they're sweet, they project, and saffron is just such a good smell. This is a very beautiful, head turning, super long lasting, super far projecting perfume. The longer it sits on my skin, the more beautiful it becomes, and it really makes me think of like, I don't know, a grown woman. This is like your office siren perfume. Actually, I don't know if I'd wear this to the office. It is pretty loud, but it is your siren perfume. Wear it on a date, anything like that. I do definitely see this could be unisex. It is a little sweet with the rose and the saffron. However, the woody notes and stuff like that make it totally unisex. It could be just leaning a little more femme, in my opinion. I think this is stunning and beautiful, and it was such a pleasant surprise. So my first recommendation is Genesis from Brandt. Now, I will say this fragrance is more on the pricey side. I think it's like $300 for this bottle. You do get a ton of juice in here. However, they do have a smaller size for I think like $56 or something. So if you were interested in this fragrance and wanted to pick it up, you could get the smaller size, or maybe find samples online somewhere. But I definitely do recommend sampling before buying. However, this is so good. All right, next up I'm going to tell you about a perfume that I actually ran out of. I actually ran out of this fragrance and recycled my bottle, so I'm going to show you a different bottle, but I'm going to tell you about the perfume that I'm really liking. And that is Moola from Brown Sugar Babe. This brand is well known for doing body care products, and they do dupes really well. They're available in the US only, I believe, right now. So unfortunately, Moola is not one that I can restock on because I got it when I was in the States. But the fragrance called Moola was a dupe for Xerjoff Lira, and it smells literally exactly like Xerjoff Lira. It is so good. I would shower, get myself all clean, and then before I got out of the shower, I would just like slather myself in the Moola body oil, and it smelled so good. I really like to layer it with the Sol de Janeiro body cream, the 59 one, and I was just literally perpetually smelling amazing. My room smelled amazing. Everything I touched smelled amazing. The perfume lasted so long, and it made my skin very hydrated, so that was a huge obsession for like, I don't know, a month or two. Now I've run out and I can't get it anymore, so if you can get it, I highly recommend it. It's a very good dupe for Xerjoff Lyra, which is one of my favorite perfumes. And the scent itself is like a creamy, caramelly lemon cake. Like it smells like a lemon coffee cake. It's sweet and creamy and very warm. And I feel like those fragrances in an oil format, when it's close to your skin, smell even better than when you spray it on. Because when you spray it on, sometimes you get the, like in Lyra, sometimes you get the more like anise scent, which is still beautiful. But I feel like really experiencing it as an oil when it's kind of close to the skin, it was magical, literally a magical experience, and I highly recommend it. So shout out to Brown Sugar Babe. And this one is called Creme de la Creme. I haven't really opened it yet, but it is a dupe for Vanilla 28. So this is another one I'm currently working on. It kind of reminds me of like a chocolate Tootsie Roll. So this is another one that's good, but I haven't used it too much, as you can see, but I really like how this smells so far. All right, moving along, let's get into my current scent of the day, which kind of, I guess it didn't take me by surprise, but it's really having like a reawakening inside of me. This is a fragrance collaboration between an influencer that I actually didn't know and Sniff. This fragrance is called Heal the Way. It's a beautiful teal color with some writing on here with affirmations, which I think is super sweet. This is a collaboration between Sniff and Alex L, and Alex L is an author and she has written novels about healing. She has a gratitude journal. Her thing is all about reclaiming your peace, and she's often seen wearing this blue color. Her book is this blue color, so I just think it's really cute and very on brand. And this perfume is delicious. This is a pistachio scent with a little bit of Divana and Palo Santo. I think this perfume is so good. I love Palo Santo. It's such a healing scent. I remember I started, like back when I graduated university and I first moved back home, I started going to Pilates at this studio near me, and the instructor, her name is Amber, and she would burn Palo Santo. And I remember the first time I went in, and it was also a heated room, and it was my first time doing like hot Pilates or even like hot yoga. Get in there, the room is so hot, and she was burning Palo Santo the whole time, and I was just like, I remember I got in and I was really anxious, and then I ended up doing the whole practice, and she was talking about astrology and gratitude and healing, and she said a few things that really resonated with me, and being too hot made me really anxious, and I ended up just kind of pushing through the practice, and then I ended up being okay at the end. So it's kind of nice. I like let myself become anxious through the heat of the room and then kind of overcome that, and I really felt healed. I continued going to her class for a little while, and so I have the scent of Palo Santo associated with healing, and so I really like the scent of Palo Santo. And Palo Santo is not a super strong note in here. I get more of like the pistachio. I get like a little bit of a whipped cream in here. Thankfully I don't get the Divana. I'm not usually a big fan of Divana, but this does have like an earthy, warm, spicy, like stewed spices kind of smell, and it lasts a good amount of time on skin. I put this on before bed last night because it made me feel really cozy. It's just like so sweet, and it feels like a warm hug. I think I described this on TikTok as the kind of smell of the person who you meet and you suddenly feel really comfortable around them, even though they might be a stranger, and then you would just end up oversharing, and you're like, why did I tell that to this person? And it's because they have this warm, open energy, this healing energy that you end up succumbing to, and that is this perfume. I am an affiliate with Sniff, so you can get this with 10% off with Emma10 if you do want to sample it or pick it up. And it is honestly maybe right now one of my favorites from Sniff. This and Creme Couture I think are my two favorites from Sniff. Let's move on to a note that has really surprised me lately, and that is Neroli, because it's really been growing on me. So I'm going to talk about a few fragrances that have Neroli that I personally just didn't see myself wearing, and here I am. This first fragrance is called Chillin' Soleil from Bulgari, and I smelled this for the first time when I was in Paris a few weeks ago. First of all, I think the bottles are so cute. I had only seen these online, and they kind of reminded me of like a Tootsie Roll, like a candy. They feel so high quality, and I love holding this in my hand. Something about the shape of this bottle is so satisfying to hold. I shouldn't be doing this, but I just love how it feels. Chillin' Soleil is a Neroli based scent with a bit of petitgrain and citrus, and I'm not usually that kind of person. Like I like the eau de cologne, citrusy Neroli scents. The balance in here is what I think makes it stand out, because I don't know, Neroli can like take over sometimes. Not super citrusy or floral. It's blended perfectly. This smells almost like a really fancy floral lemonade. Like, you know, when you go to those fancy hotels and you order a drink that is like a drink you know of, and then they bring it to you and there's like a ton of flowers in it, and then they like light it on fire. It's like this elevated version of something that's kind of nostalgic and homey. Or like, have you ever gone to a fancy restaurant or fancy hotel and you get chicken fingers and then they're like fancy, it's somehow ornate and intricate? That is what I feel about this. It's like the yassified, fancified country club version of a lemonade. There's like flowers in it, and it's not super lemony or citrusy, and that's kind of the reason why I'm saying it's like yassified, I guess. This is one of those scents that when I breathe it in, I have to breathe out like You know, it's very happy. It smells like sunlight and happiness, and I think it would be a perfect signature scent for those of you who like kind of like fresh fruity florals. And if you like fragrance houses like Jo Malone, this is kind of the opposite of someone who would like Genesis, because this one is more like bold, woody saffron. This is more fresh, happy, lemon, neroli. It's very like, very fluffy, very light, very happy. I feel like this is the perfect scent for Gemini season, Leo season, and this is the perfect scent for Cancer season. But yeah, I just think this perfume is so like happy and so good. And to take it one farther, I discovered Bulgari when I was in France and kind of went off the deep end. So I'm gonna talk about these magnifier fragrances. This is a fragrance line, and I almost blind bought these online a few months ago for my blind buy video when I was blind buying my fragrance wish list, because this scent, Magnifying Vanilla, I saw it online and it's expensive and there were like no Fragrantica reviews, and I was like, why are there no reviews on this? I really wanted to get it because the only reviews on Fragrantica were so positive. It just looked so good and I was so curious about it, and the notes looked so good and I really wanted to try it. Because there weren't many reviews, I was like, oh, maybe it's too risky. So I didn't end up getting it, but this was like literally the next perfume I would have got for my blind buying my fragrance wish list video. This perfume is the closest thing I've ever found to the actual scent of vanilla extract. Extract, why did I say extract? It even has that, not alcohol-y smell, but vanilla extract has. And I don't mean that in the way of, you know, when you like spray perfume on and you go to smell it and you're like, oh, it just smells like alcohol. This is different. Like, you know how it's not the normal perfume alcohol smell. It's like you smell this and I think it's the coumarin. It has the coumarin that vanilla extract has. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Let's get back to what I was saying. So this is the Magnifying collection. Hardly any information about this line online, but I did some research. So basically, Bulgari has two collections. This is the Allegro collection, and these are all perfumes. Perfume fine fragrances. And these are specific magnifiers. So they're like basically to help fragrance layering. So if you want to like customize your perfume, take it from day to night, or if there's like a particular note that you really like, you can enhance the note using these. So for example, this is Chillin' Soleil, and I have the Magnifying Vanilla. So this is like almost a pure vanilla scent, and I can add this to make it more sweet and like, I don't know, make it more of a nighttime perfume. Or I can add the neroli if I want to boost the neroli. And in fact, neroli actually has a soothing effect on your mood. So if I want to add that like more calm, soothingness, I can add the neroli here. So I really, really like the vanilla. It's so good for layering. I think of it as my vanilla extract potion. I have layered it with so many of my perfumes and it is delicious, so good. And I wouldn't have usually thought to layer these two, but because they're both from Bulgari, I was like, okay, I'll layer them. It smells really good. And this also smells good with the neroli. This neroli is more like hand-picked, I would say. You know when you smell a natural essential oil and you smell all the different aspects? Like neroli is usually, it has a citrus component, it has a floral component, and it has a green component. I would say it's more floral in here and citrusy, but the Magnifying Neroli has the green component, which I really like, and they go very well together. So I find this like, even though these are both neroli, this is a very different neroli to me. It's very green and more, it's very green, because neroli is the bud of the orange blossom, and this is very green to me. So I feel like when I want to add that like daytime boost, zest, kick, I will put this with this. So I've been really liking these two together. Another neroli scent I wanted to talk about real quick was Ex Nihilo's Vesper Glitz. This is a lot of different florals in this perfume, but it's not a floral perfume in my mind. I don't even know how to classify this. Like, to me, this is bottled champagne, bottled night out in Paris, bottled adventure, and still one of the most underrated perfumes. Like, it's just such a good signature scent. Like, this perfume has all the components that make a really good signature scent to me. It's unique, it's head turning, it's long lasting. And it's so funny, like, I don't even think you have to like florals to like this, but it is made of floral notes. There's like mimosa, ylang ylang, neroli, so many floral notes in here, but I really get that like tart pink pepper at the opening, which apparently I heard from a psychologist that pink pepper makes someone estimate your weight as like 10 pounds lighter. So if this makes me smell skinny, like, don't mind if I blow away. I know I just sprayed this. If you can't see me anymore, like, I'm sorry that I've turned into a speck of dust. I'm just kidding. Anyways, that's something I heard. It might not be true, but I got this like juicy mandarin opening, and The blend in here is just simply phenomenal, and it has the most perfect amount of vanilla and tonka bean in the base, which makes it not sweet, not gourmand. It just supports the fragrance in such a beautiful way. This fragrance is inspired by a night out in Paris, and I love that it looks like champagne. It literally smells fizzy from pink pepper and the mandarin, and it's just delicious. It makes me feel so good. Like I feel, you know that feeling of when you go on vacation on like a solo trip or you do something for the first time? Like I feel like this reminds me of like my first experience, go on a business trip on my own or do something, you know, it's just kind of that exciting, youthful, whimsical happiness. And I really like it, and I think it's a perfect signature scent. Sample before you buy. Obviously my taste is not everyone's taste, so you might not love this, but to me this is a very, very special scent, and it's always been one of my favorites. And it has neroli, which is a new discovery that I'm really liking neroli lately. All right, now this video is for my pink floral girls. If you like fragrances like Delina, if you like Gossip Night from Greedy, if you like Indult's Manicara, you better get your notepad out, get your pen and paper, because you are going to love Angel Soirée from Caroline Stern and Le Monde Gourmand. This perfume is the most delicious, fluffy, pink, fruity cloud. It has rose milk, marshmallow, lychee, and it is $28. I bought this, and this smells so expensive to me. This smells on par with Gossip Night from Greedy, Manicara, like, in terms of quality, and this perfume was $28. Like, it's kind of getting me to think like those other perfumes, how much are they upcharging me because this smells the same quality? It doesn't smell like Delina, but if I were to describe it using Delina, it has a little bit of the tartness from Delina, and it has the freshness of Delina, and it has the sweetness of Delina Exclusive, but it's not as thick or rich as Delina Exclusive. A little tart, a little sweet, and fresh. It's so pretty. It's like apricot, strawberry. It's just so happy and fresh and unserious. If you are one of those people that likes really complex fragrances that are super niche or like heavy, then that's not what you're gonna get from this. This is simply pink girl boss happy, and it still smells really expensive and it lasts a long time, but like, oh my goodness, this is so good. Back before I got into perfume, I was searching for my signature scent for like a few years, and this contains all the notes that I was looking for back then, and so I like wish that I could, future me could like get a time machine and give this to myself, and this could have been my signature scent, because it literally would have made my world, because this was what I was looking for, and I just, if this was created a few years ago. But either way, I'm so happy to have it now because I still love it, and I just think it's so beautiful. I don't have an affiliate code with this brand. I did buy this myself, but I think my friend Caroline does, so you can probably use her code Caroline10 to get 10% off of this. I did not know that was a thing when I bought this, so I paid full price, but if you guys can get a discount, then I would hook you up. So anyways, this one has been a favorite lately. I just think it's so good. Now, I only have 2 perfumes left, and they're from the same brand, which I didn't mean to do, but this is a brand that is from Canada, so shout out to my Canadians, and it's the 7 Virtues. I've always really liked the 7 Virtues. Like, I feel like I often overlook them. Like, Vanilla Woods has always been one of the best vanilla fragrances and one of the first vanilla fragrances at Sephora, like first true vanilla fragrances. So they were really ahead of the curve for this, and I was so, well, not even excited, but they actually sent me this amber vanilla, and I had no thoughts on my mind when this came out because I remember they had Santal Vanille, and I didn't really like it that much, but I got this in the mail and I filmed my first impression of it, and I was floored. This perfume is delicious. If you like gourmand scents, but you want like a corporate scent that's classy and professional and like a second skin-like scent, like this is like Glossier You, but for the girls who like vanilla or want something a little prettier than Glossier You. If you get pencil shavings from Glossier You or anything like that, like this is for you. Even though there are flowers on the front, this is not a floral fragrance. This is best for evoking comfort, self-love, inspiring gratitude. Oh my god, it's just so good. It's slightly woody, a little fresh, a little musky, like second skin-like scent. I wouldn't say it's overly vanilla, like it's not particularly gourmand in my opinion, but it really has that like, what am I smelling? Why can't I get my nose out of this? If someone came over to me and they were wearing this perfume, I would be like, respectfully, I need to lean in one more time and smell you again. That's what I think of this. This smells very, very good, and I highly recommend it. Again, sample before you buy. This video is literally my taste, my perfumes that I'm obsessed with. I don't necessarily think these are all like blind buy worthy because I do not know, you know, I think I have like 80,000 subscribers, which is so crazy, but like every single one of you has different taste, and I cannot tell you that we will all think the same. So I can tell you, for me, big fan. But yeah, please sample all these before buying, and that's what I have to say. The final scent I wanted to throw in was Coconut Sun from the 7 Virtues. I recently did a summer fragrance Olympics where I went through all my coconutty tropical summer fragrances and I rated them all. And I did not like this when I first got it in the mail. Well, I don't want to say I didn't like it, but it was like the middle of winter, so I got this coconut perfume and I was like, okay. And then I just like kind of put it on the back burner, and then I took it out for my fragrance Olympics, and I was originally thinking like I didn't like it. Like I don't know why I thought I didn't like it, but I smelled it again during the Olympics and I was like, wait, I love this. It's such a beautiful, like fresh yet creamy coconut scent. I have it on right now on my inner elbow. It's like, has a beautiful balance between fresh and coconutty at the same time. I find sometimes the summer fragrances, I don't want them to go too tiare flower floral, because there are certain like summery floral notes that I don't necessarily love. For example, if it's too jasmine heavy, I don't usually love that. Some summer fragrances, I can get like an iodine note, like a salty iodine. I get that from the new St. Bart's from Way, and I'm not a big fan of that. But this one is just so nice. I feel like this to me is the perfect sweet spot for like my taste and what I look for in a summer perfume. So this is one I really like for the summertime. So this was a pleasant surprise to me. All right, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every one of you who comes and listens to my opinions. Please let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances, and let me know what fragrances you guys are obsessed with right now. Now, I am still waiting to hit 25K on Instagram because I will be doing a giveaway. I just did a giveaway for Commodity Juice. I was supposed to give away just the perfume, but I ended up just giving her like a ton of PR. I really want to do another giveaway when I hit 25K, so please follow me on Instagram if you don't already. My username is perfumerism. I'll link it in the description below, and thank you so much for spending time with me. I really love you guys, and I love being able to make these videos. Lots more fun stuff coming. See you guys later. Bye.